Oversharing is your most dangerous enemy. Lysander had dreams, ambitious, world-changing dreams. But every time he shared them, they slipped further away. What if the reason you're not where you want to be isn't because of a lack of effort, but because you've been telling the wrong people? Sometimes silence is the most powerful weapon you have. To grow, to achieve, to transform, your goals need protection from everyone else. Keep your dreams close and watch them grow. In the bustling city of Athens, where the morning sun bathed the marble columns in golden light, Lysander, a humble artisan, began his day with a sense of purpose. The city was alive with the sounds of merchants setting up their stalls, scholars engaging in philosophical debates, and the distant clamor of chariots. Lysander's modest workshop, nestled in a quieter street, was his sanctuary. Lysander had always been a diligent worker, crafting intricate pottery and sculptures. Yet his ambitions reached beyond his workshop. His first goal was to expand his craft, to create a renowned piece that would be celebrated across the city. His second goal was even loftier. He desired to become an educated and wise man, to immerse himself in the knowledge of philosophers and scholars whose debates he admired from afar. He meticulously planned his day, but with each step forward, he felt the weight of doubt. The city's intellectual circles were often filled with men of wealth and status, leaving Lysander feeling like an outsider. Nevertheless, he resolved to push through these insecurities. As he worked on a new vase, Lysander shared his aspirations with his friends over a morning meal. "I plan to create a masterpiece," he declared, "and I wish to study under the greatest philosophers. I believe this will change my life." His friends, while supportive, were skeptical. They questioned whether such dreams were attainable for someone of his standing. The doubts they voiced were disheartening, yet Lysander remained steadfast. He believed that with hard work and dedication, he could overcome these obstacles. By noon, Lysander's workshop was bustling with activity. He was busy shaping a large amphora, pouring his heart into every detail. The sun's rays streamed through the open window, illuminating the dust motes dancing in the air. Despite his focused efforts, Lysander was distracted by the weight of his earlier conversations. His friends had questioned his plans, and their skepticism had gnawed at him. Each time he glanced at his work, doubt crept into his mind. Was he aiming too high? Were his goals merely a fantasy? During a break, Lysander visited a nearby marketplace where scholars often gathered. Eager to learn, he listened to their discussions on philosophy and science. He approached one of the scholars, a man named Themistocles, and shared his ambitions. "I wish to study and become wise," Lysander said. Themistocles regarded him with a thoughtful expression. "It is admirable to seek knowledge," he replied, "but be cautious. Many who seek greatness fail because they are not prepared for the challenges." Lysander left the encounter feeling both inspired and apprehensive. He realized that his journey would not be easy and that he needed to approach his goals with careful consideration and preparation. As evening fell, the city of Athens glowed with the soft light of oil lamps and torches. Lysander returned to his workshop, tired but determined. He had spent the day grappling with self-doubt and external skepticism. The marketplace conversations had only added to his resolve to prove himself. In the quiet of his workshop, Lysander took a moment to reflect on his progress. The amphora was taking shape, and he felt a sense of accomplishment despite the challenges. He reminded himself of the reasons behind his goals: to create something beautiful and to enrich his mind. He decided to seek out a mentor who could guide him in his quest for knowledge. He remembered a wise old philosopher named Socrates, whose teachings he had heard about. Lysander knew that finding and studying under such a mentor could be difficult, but he believed it was essential for his growth. Night had fallen over Athens, and the city was quiet, save for the distant sounds of revelry from the local taverns. Lysander lay on his bed, staring at the ceiling as he pondered his path forward. His workshop was now silent, and the only light came from the flickering candle on his bedside table. The doubts he had encountered throughout the day were weighing heavily on him. His friends' skepticism, the challenges he faced in his craft, and the uncertainties of his quest for knowledge all seemed overwhelming. He questioned whether he was being too ambitious and if perhaps he should lower his expectations. Yet as he lay there in the quiet of the night, Lysander remembered his earlier conversations and the wisdom he had gathered. He knew that achieving greatness required perseverance and resilience. The journey would be long and fraught with obstacles, but he had already made progress by taking the first steps. With the dawn of a new day, Lysander awoke with renewed determination. The challenges he had faced were not barriers, but stepping stones on his path to success. The doubts that had troubled him the previous night now seemed like a necessary part of his journey, pushing him to refine his approach and commitment. He resumed work on his amphora, now with a clearer focus. The piece was coming together beautifully, and he felt a sense of pride in his progress. His goal of creating a renowned work was slowly becoming a reality. Lysander also set out to find Socrates. After several inquiries and much effort, he managed to meet the philosopher. Socrates welcomed him warmly and agreed to mentor him. Lysander was overjoyed and felt that this was a pivotal moment in his journey. Months passed, and Lysander's efforts began to bear fruit. His amphora, now complete, was celebrated throughout the city. The craftsmanship and attention to detail garnered praise from both commoners and scholars. Lysander's name was becoming known, and he felt a deep sense of fulfillment. Under Socrates' guidance, Lysander's knowledge grew, and he began to see the world in new ways. His intellectual pursuits enriched his life and gave him a deeper understanding of himself and his place in the world. His success was not immediate, but the challenges he had faced and the perseverance he had shown made the achievement all the more meaningful. Lysander had learned that while sharing his goals with others could lead to doubt, it was his own commitment and hard work that ultimately determined his success. As he stood in his workshop, now a place of accomplishment and learning, Lysander looked out at the city of Athens with a sense of pride and gratitude. He had overcome the obstacles, stayed true to his ambitions, and achieved his dreams. The journey had been long and arduous, but it had been worth every effort.